This is Boxing Tickets NI in association with Violent Gentlemen, and we're back with our main stayer, I think probably the most interviewed fighter on the channel, Padraig McCrory. How are you, mate?
I'm very well, Morty. It's good to see you again.
It definitely is. I think it's become our new ritual now, obviously during the whole lockdown. We've sort of been doing things in Zoom, so
It's a new normal.
It definitely is.
A new normal, isn't it?
Obviously a lot of your life, obviously last year, obviously training clients and things was on Zoom as well, so you're probably the most zoomed out person in the whole world.
Yeah, do you know what? I don't mind it, but I like to get face to face with people. So the sooner we get out of all this, the better.
Definitely is. Obviously, you've known of your fight for quite some time, but we've obviously just found out that you're coming back for part 2 in the Feile.
Yeah.
How hard's it been to sort of hold things in for about the last month?
Yeah, do you know what? I probably knew about 3 or 4 weeks now. And yeah, I'm not the best at keeping secrets, but so it's been a challenge because I know I'm back in the Feile, and it's such a big event, and it's a big fight for myself. So it's been hard to keep a secret, but now it's getting announced. I'm buzzing about it.
Because obviously people keep tagging you, and obviously I think just before we started recording things like that, people's going, "You're going to be on it, you're going to be on it," and you're going, "What do you say? I don't know," and like anybody that's obviously massive in the boxing are probably saying, if you're not on it, there's something wrong, because it's a stone throw from obviously where you grew up and everything else, and it's it makes sense. It's so easy because everybody's local to you and stuff as well.
Yeah, do you know what? Thankfully, the show it gets so close because anybody who's anybody, like in boxing in Ireland, they want to be on the show. And unfortunately, it's limited to the amount of fights. So I am grateful, but I also know that it makes sense to have me on the show. And firstly, I want to thank Jimmy and MTK, but just for the opportunity. But again, for them, it makes sense to have me on that card.
It definitely does. Like I know when obviously you first start out and things like that, whenever you sell tickets and stuff like that, you're always going to be options. But I guess now probably more so you've been able to show your talent and stuff as well. Obviously, sparking out Mickey Ellison last year and Bolton, gone in 30 seconds, pretty much job. You're showing obviously more than what some people sometimes when they come into pro boxing, they're like going, "Oh, he's a ticket seller, he's a ticket seller," whereas people don't think of you as a ticket seller anymore. It's the Hammer, and you're living up obviously your nickname of a Hammer, because once you hit, that's it.
Yeah, well, sort of like the start of my career, and a few articles and stuff, like I would have been down as like the ticket seller, and as much as I like to be like I like selling those tickets and getting like those my family and like friends there, I didn't want to be known as just the guy that sold those tickets. But it gave me a small bit of leverage, and in fairness, it's helped me as well as getting some very good wins and pushing on with my boxing career. It's definitely helped me along the way as well.
And obviously somebody similar in the gym with you as well. Obviously Owen's sort of been labelled as a ticket seller in the past as well, and he's like, "Don't call me a ticket seller anymore. I want to be known for being a boxer rather than a ticket seller." So
no one wants to be known as just a ticket seller, because then you start to think, am I only on this show because I'm selling tickets? And then I always thought that, and even until recently, last September, this day last year actually, I was announced on a behind doors show, which then made me realize that I'm not just a ticket seller, because there was no tickets to sell.
Yeah.
So yeah, that actually gave me an actual bit of confidence. So I know that MTK and Jamie, they're not just about getting me on shows for tickets. They want me on shows because they want to see, and people want to see what I can do.
Yep. And like the Feile 2 years ago, obviously, it was a dream being on it there, and I'd probably say it's been your coming out party sort of 2 years ago, obviously fighting Steve Collins and finishing him off in the last round, and everybody can't forget you running about thinking you were taking off, and then I think you get shot by a sniper from somewhere because you just collapsed. But like when you think back of that, and then you go, "I'm going to do this again," Faker obviously at that stage was, very, very young, and you'll probably remember it a bit more now as well.
Yeah, he was so young. I don't know if he'll go this time. I'll have to see. I'll just see see what happens. But yeah, I think he was a few months old probably. January, and that was in August. Yeah, a few months old. Or maybe he was one. I can't remember. But he was young. It was an amazing event, massive event. And to get such a big fight, like a local derby, like an all Irish fight, it just made it like even better. And when I got the win, it was a tough fight. I was fighting hard, and to get that stoppage was a feeling like I'll never forget. Obviously, it wasn't as if I haven't faced a 50-50 like fight before.
Mm-hmm.
Going back to my fourth fight, I fought Sean McGlinchey, and we had like previous history, who I'm now actually very friendly with. And I fought him, and that was seen as a 50-50 fight as well. So like I'm willing to take like them risks and challenges. And when you do, the reward is so much better. Like the feeling of getting that win, and the extra highs is like it's so worth it.
Yeah, exactly. It sort of plateaus you straight even further up.
Yeah.
Your opponent obviously, I don't know. He obviously does the matchmaking. Sometimes, or obviously where names come from, but obviously foreign names are probably never my strong point. But you're facing a Russian Sergey Gorokhov.
Yeah. Gorokhov.
I'm sure someday will get it right for a summer, but it's for the WBC International Silver title. He's currently 11-2-2 with 7 knockouts. What do you know of him?
Yeah, so I watched a bit about him. I watched his last fight when he won the title. He went to Croatia. He fought an unbeaten fighter of 27-0, and he knocked him out. He knocked him out in the 10th round. And instead, I thought he won the. I thought he was ahead in the fight fairly handily. So he's no joke. This is no joke. This fight. He's coming here thinking the same. He went to Croatia. He's coming to Belfast. He beat a 27-0 fighter. So why should he worry about me, who's 11-0?
Mm-hmm.
So listen, I'm expecting a serious fight. Again, massive step up. If you had told me 4 years ago that I would have been fighting in my hometown as what's seen as the home fighter for a WBC ranking title, I'd have told you to go and fuck yourself.
Or do one.
Or do one. Be a wheel fighter. But you know what? I'm here now. I've worked hard for it. And it's going to be true. Like in the Falls Park, I'm going to become a champion.
Yep, definitely. And then you then started thinking, going right, 2022, who are we fighting next time? 2022, we're fighting for world title. That's just the way boxing is. You can move so quickly.
Canelo Alvarez
at Falls Park. Putting ideas in Jamie's head now. But obviously when you touch sort of on the I guess the good thing is Sergey, I'm going to call him. He's obviously coming away from home. The good thing is obviously he's seen as a bit of puncher as well. You've obviously teamed up with D, who obviously is a hit sort of genius. D sort of mentioned that people haven't seen the improvements you've made yet. So, any footage that anybody's watching you isn't of obviously what you've been working with D since you joined up with him. So you're nearly like a trump card sort of ready to come out. People's going to go, just going to try and hit me with the right hand, and you could do something different.
Yeah, do you know what? I have to listen to the people that see me every day, and they all seem to believe that I'm just getting better and better. I don't know. I'm just working hard. I'm making sure that I'm trying my best to improve, and they all think that I've improved by tenfold. So let's hope that I can bring that in the fight night.
Definitely, and it's obviously that focus. Obviously, I know you were linked up with Dan Anderson, who obviously was doing your strength and conditioning. Dan's obviously taken on his on obviously his own boxers and things now, and just going to focus on the training. So you've obviously you and Dan's come to an amicable sort of split in terms of the S&C, but obviously Dan was a big help and stuff for you as well, and sort of bringing you on in terms of your strength and stuff for fighting.
Yeah, of course. Like I spent a year or nearly a year like with Dan as my S&C coach, and to be honest, like I was never as fit or as strong in my life. Dan recently has opened up his own gym, which is phenomenal for him, a PPT, and he's also started to coach his own fighters. So he's now a licensed coach with the IBA or the BUI
Yeah.
So his aspirations, he wants to go on and be a great coach. So we came to agreement, and we think it's better, like for both of us, to go our separate ways.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm very grateful to him for giving me a lot of time, getting me in great shape. He my biggest win in my career was against Mickey Allison, and I was never as fit in my life. So, and it was a big help from Dan Anderson. So yeah, we still speak every day and stuff. So, and if I win this title, there'll be a mention for Dan as well. Of course, yeah. But life goes on.
It does, obviously it's a bit different for you with this fight as well. Obviously fighting for a WBC belt, you obviously have to do the check weight. So you've obviously the 30-day, the 14-day, and the 7-day check weight. So I'm guessing obviously it's going to be something different to get used to in boxing. Obviously making sure sort of weight's on point as you're reaching each of these markers.
Yeah, so this is something that's probably actually going to benefit me, because the weights that they're expecting me to be, I would be slightly more than that.
Mm-hmm.
Then dates out. So if I'm lower come fight week, then it's only going to benefit me when it comes to hydration, on food intake, on energy levels, just everything. So it's definitely going to be a positive.
And it means obviously you're not sort of having to make weight so much in the last week, because obviously everything's sort of off,
Yeah.
I guess sometimes it's probably tailoring. I know you obviously now in new strength conditioning and things, it's strength milita, but it's sort of tailoring that a wee bit to go, rather than sort of what you would normally do, ease it off sort of a wee bit in the last week so that you have a bit more strength.
Yeah. So yeah, I think up with Sean Crow, who's working with Connor Quinn and Don O'Neill. We've done 4 sessions now, and I've really enjoyed it, to be honest. So yeah, so he's a smart man, and he'll know the best way to go about this.
Definitely to get you in the best shape possible. Obviously, would it be fair to say, obviously, you have the disappointment of obviously accepting the fight, David Lemieux and Daniel Scardina, and obviously once it then got to it, you weren't a feasible option. Obviously, the Germaine Brown fight falling through late notice and obviously fight week. There's obviously been announced in the Feile game make up for obviously the disappointment you have with them.
Yeah, so I always try to think that everything it happens for a reason, and if I look like that, then I'm here now, and I'm on the verge of fighting in my hometown, seconds away from where I grew up, for a ranking title. And it's WBC, it's a belt everyone wants. It's a green belt, and so. If any of these other 3 things had to happen, then I probably this fight potentially couldn't happen.
Yeah.
But I'm here now, and I have to really focus on this. Obviously in the past, I accepted them fights. I had an injury in the other fight, and they were all very disappointing. But I got to focus on now, and try my best to go and get this win.
And I guess it obviously shows the nature of obviously Jamie isn't obviously managing and getting opportunities there for you to sort of get fights, and they've fallen through in the wayside and some of them, but they still work well in the background to obviously get you a fight of this magnitude on the field.
Yeah. Do you know what I said before? There's so many fighters the one on this card, and then you look at is it co-hosted by the top rank, so yeah. They would obviously want be looking like slots in this. So I had to be grateful. but I also have to be like I have to like realize that I merited that like this chance.
Yep, definitely, and hopefully it'll be I know there's been no TV announced yet, but hopefully obviously when the TV things announced to be on the TV portion of the card, and you look at obviously some of the other fights that's there, what a main event, Mick and TJ,
Yeah.
Probably the only gloss, probably I would sort of say it probably make it better if the world title was on the line, but unfortunately it's just not there at the moment. But like an all Irish dust up, in Falls Park, you probably couldn't ask for much better.
Yeah, well, you have an ex-world champion in Doheny, and then you have Mick, who I believe is going to be a Middleweight champion. So you have two really real high level fighters, who are both Irish, fighting in the Falls on the Falls Road on a massive event. Like it doesn't really get much bigger unless there was that like a world title online.
Yeah.
And then the undercard's completely stacked. Like you have the fights that are announced, and then you have even more fighters and big fights that are going to get announced as well.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, massive.
I know that obviously Mick gets a lot of slate and stuff at times because obviously people go, oh, he's not world title and stuff ready. This is obviously the final acid test he has before a world title. They sort of shut some people up and go, I have the talent there. Obviously, some of his opponents just haven't been there to fight, to sort of been there to survive. So TJ is obviously first fight as a pro in Ireland, which is crazy to think, with the career and stuff he's had, first fight in Ireland. He's going to come to one as well. So, the two meeting at the center of the ring, it's just be fireworks.
Listen, Doheny's no joke at all. Like he obviously, I think it was his last fight against Bluda.
Yeah, he beat Bluda.
Yeah,
last.
Think of that. Bluda was brought in like to get beat,
mm-hmm.
and he caused an upset. And then TJ was expected to go on and challenge again for a major title. So he obviously has his own sort of goals, and he's not coming here to get beat. Like, and Mick's gonna need to be on his game. His last performance, he was slightly criticised for fighting that. It was Bluda again.
Yeah.
But do you know what? Bluda is a good fighter. Like I think a lot of people underestimated him in terms of like fans. And then if you look at Mick's fight just before that against the French guy, who I think he fought for a world title.
Yeah, he fought Warrington.
Yeah, like Mick like made him look very ordinary. So I personally believe he's a serious talent. And only time will tell if he goes on and achieves what I expect him to do. But there's no doubt that he's serious talent.
Yep, he's a talent to be there. And then obviously you look at other fights that obviously we've known in advance of McKenna and Turarov, which is probably going to be a war rescheduled from Dubai, and the amazing Lee McGregor obviously defending his European title against the Frenchman Legrand. Obviously his last fight was over and around winning the title, so I
was there actually.
So that could be a fight that obviously could be over very quickly. With the talents they have, but I know we're obviously just over a month away, but obviously now just been announced and stuff in the card. It's like just can't wait.
Yeah. It seemed like I was saying it was 9 weeks ago. Last week we're only just over 5 weeks out, or just under 5 weeks out. So it'll feel like it's in no time really. So, and it's the first fight. It's the first event in Ireland, boxing event anyway, with fans from
February last year.
February, the 1st of February, my last event actually. 1st of February. So fans and boxers are really hungry to get back fighting in front of fans, and fans are really looking forward to watching fighters again.
And it's looking like about 8,000 potentially. Obviously, at Feile again as well. Hopefully, potentially, if things keep improving, we can get the more obviously tickets and stuff out. But I know obviously your memories of obviously fighting and stuff there before. Like any sort of video you've seen of it, people just going absolutely mental. Like I think at one stage, I must have needed to go to the toilet for about 4 hours and just didn't want to move. It was just that sort of event that had everything, and like this card is even better again. Like the Feile card in 2019 was brilliant, and this is even better again. You're sort of going,
Yeah.
where's the ceiling at, and how far this card can go?
Yeah, like even like McKenna and Turarov, isn't he?
Yeah,
Like
Turarov.
he's an unbeaten fighter with a massive knockout ratio. And Troy McKenna, like I think you have to look at his like at his record. He doesn't turn down fights.
Mm-hmm.
Like Jack Catterall, he fought. Was that on the mix?
That was I think that was on
Mix Homecoming.
I think it was Mixed Homecoming card 2018.
Yeah. Like Jack Catterall was probably then mandatory for a world title.
Mm-hmm.
And McKenna fought him in his home city, and he just fights anybody. And he's hard as nails, tough man. Like so.
Or McKenna.
Yeah, it's gonna be a very exciting fight. And then the undercard again, like as I say, it's gonna be stacked.
I know you were sort of winding McKenna up. Obviously, that the king hadn't been announced and stuff yet, but obviously he's Ireland's pound for pound king at the minute, and I think he's actually changed his name from Mighty Cult to pound for pound king. You know?
Listen, it's well deserved. He's done well in his boxing career. He hasn't turned down a fight, like, as far as I know, and he always takes challenges. So I'd say fair play to him, and I wish him all the best.
Definitely, I'm looking forward.
I'm coming for you.
I'm looking forward to his promos and stuff. I wouldn't be surprised if he started a zip line into the ring. I wouldn't be. I was actually going to message him out earlier and say, "What are we doing a zip line?" But probably the British board probably won't allow it, obviously for safety concerns. But you won't be surprised. You get a helicopter or something, parachute down. Tyrone will just do anything.
Oh, he's not well.
He's definitely not. But look, obviously, thanks for tuning in. Obviously, once again, you've probably been our most regularly, I'm sure. Probably we'll catch up with you probably fight week, hopefully. Give you a few weeks to sort of get yourself prepared. But thanks obviously once again for joining in. And I'm sure we'll catch up with you again soon.
No worries. Cheers, Marty.
All right, cheers, buddy. Take care. Thanks. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.